Good morning, class. Today we're going to be learning about thesis statements. Now, thesis statements are super important to your essay because they kind of set up everything that comes next. So, I want you to think of the thesis statement as a roadmap to your essay. Just like a roadmap would tell a traveler where they're going to go before they start their trip, the thesis statement is going to tell your reader what they're going to read about before they start reading. So, a thesis statement should do two main things. It should, one, state your claim. So this is how you're addressing what the prompt is asking you. So this is your main argument. And two, it's going to list your three main reasons. So those are the reasons you picked your argument, and that's how you're arguing it. So for example, if I was going to write a paper about how mermaids are cooler than fairies, because they are, my thesis statement might sound something like this. Mermaids are the best mythological creature because they can speak to dolphins, swim faster than Michael Phelps, and have beautiful tails. So as you can see, I stated my claim, that is, mermaids are the best mythological creature, that's my argument, and my three main reasons, because they can speak to dolphins, swim faster than Michael Phelps, and have beautiful tails. So now, to break it down a little further, we're going to go over an example together as a class. So let me grab the worksheets. Here's one for you, and one for you, and one for me. So I'm going to read the first prompt. So this is what we have to write our thesis statement about. Modern technology has given us many different inventions, such as computers, telephones, and video games. Think about a modern invention you enjoy. Now write to explain why this invention would be hard to live without. Can anyone tell me what we're trying to argue? So what is this prompt asking us to address?
It's asking us to select an invention and say what it's important, why it's hard to live without.
Yeah, great. So it's two main parts to it. We have to, one, pick an invention, and two, argue why it's hard to live without. So would anyone like to read the example thesis statement that they wrote? Yeah, Aki.
The internet would be an invention difficult to live without because it provides a way to communicate easily, research my topic, and buy and sell items.
Perfect. So now we have to figure out whether or not this is a good thesis statement. Does it state the claim and list our three main reasons? So can anyone identify the claim being made by this thesis statement? What's the argument?
The internet would be an invention difficult to live without.
Right. So they said the internet is the invention they chose, and they're saying it would be difficult to live without. Can anyone identify the first reason that they said the internet would be difficult to live without? Yes, Aki.
They said it was a way to communicate easily.
Perfect. What's the second reason? Noah?
It lets you research any topic.
Great. And the third reason?
And it lets you buy and sell items.
Perfect. So it does exactly what it needs us to do. It states its claim, the internet would be hard to live without, because of three main reasons. So now we're going to use the next example to try to write a thesis statement together as a class. So would anyone like to read the next prompt? That's the second box. Yes, Noah?
Many middle schools have implemented a uniform dress code. Think about whether or not having a uniform would be really cool. A uniform in middle school is important. Now, write to persuade the principal whether or not your school should have a uniform dress code.
So what are we trying to argue here? What is it asking us to address?
Whether or not we should have a dress code.
Perfect. So since I'm a benevolent monarch in this classroom, I'm going to let us democratically vote whether or not we should have uniforms, what we should write about. So does anyone raise your hand if you think we should have uniforms? Going once, going twice. Raise your hand if you think we should not have uniforms. I had a feeling. Okay. So I want you to turn to your partner and come up with some reasons why we should not have uniforms. And together as a class, we'll make an idea web with all of our ideas.
They might be uncomfortable.
They could, yeah. They don't provide for self-expression. And
I can imagine some students might have trouble getting a uniform.
yeah, sure they could. Some might not be able to pay for it.
It might also be ugly.
That's also true. From personal experience.
Okay, so let's come together as a class and make our idea web. So does anyone want to share their reason why we think we shouldn't have uniforms?
Well, we just thought that
Yes, no?
We thought that the uniforms might be uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. Okay, that's great. Well, it's not great if you have a uniform. Anyone else?
We said it doesn't allow people to express themselves.
Okay. So we still need another reason.
We thought that there might be trouble for some students to access uniforms.
Access, that's a great point. So we're going to write up our thesis statement. So these are 3 great reasons. And so middle schools should not have uniforms, that's our claim, because they are uncomfortable, do not allow for self-expression, and may be difficult for some students to access. So great, so now I'm going to pass out our homework where you're going to try to write a thesis statement on your own. You're going to do the same thing. Read the prompt, identify the argument, come up with your answer, and brainstorm for 3 main ideas. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.